Hello folks, I'm here in beautiful Venice, California. I'm here in this back alley here, and sorry, I might be a few minutes late here on my live stream, but hopefully some of you guys are around. I'd love to see you guys in there. And yeah, it's a nice beautiful morning here. It's crisp. It's I guess a little bit chilly for LA. It's like, I don't know what it is now, like 63 maybe, 64 or something like that. It's a little chilly, yeah, especially out of the sun here. But yeah, I mean, just beautiful. You guys can see the palms there. And you know, for me, these are also special, but site here in LA, pygmy dates, huge, insane queen palms. And I know people say that queen palms can look a little bit ratty, and you know, I agree that when they're younger sometimes, or when they're tried in like people plant them a lot in like colder locations like Maryland, Delaware, along the coast, where they'll obviously never grow. They just plant them as like annuals, and obviously they look ratty there when they can't even survive. But I think there's, you know, when you get like a big, beautiful, mature queen palm, I think it just looks great. And I think people don't see that enough and don't recognize it enough, because people say they look bad. Like often when people are asked what they think the ugliest palm is, very often they'll say queen palm. And I think they just get a lot of unfair criticism for that. And you know, I think they're really great palms. And yeah, I mean, especially once they get older. And don't get me wrong, even in LA, you'll see plenty of queen palms that are not doing their best. The absolute best climate for them, maybe like a little bit more moisture, but I mean, they're super tough palms. So they grow here, they've naturalized here. I mean, they're, you know, they're super tough, so they can take it. But yeah, I mean, I think that a mature queen palm, like a big old one, just looks beautiful. You know, I mean, I love them, especially when they get older. All right, folks, so here we have, this looks like a Brahea edulus. You guys can let me know if I'm wrong, but yeah, I mean, it looks very Washingtonia-like. It almost, you know, I mean, many people would mistake that for Washingtonia, but a little bit different. The fronds are a little bit more Costa palmate, meaning they have this sort of bend in the middle here that you can see down like the midrib here. And yeah, I mean, you can see up there, those Washingtonia, the fronds are, you know, a little bit less Costa palmate than this. You know, these really bend in here. And also, you know, it's not Armata, because Brahea Armata is blue. It has a very distinct bluish hue to it. And this is obviously bright green. So this is, yeah, looks like Brahea edulus, which is native, not far from here. I mean, not far from, especially where I was the other day in San Diego. Really pretty close to there, actually. Look at this little duck pond here. Wow. That's super cool. Look at that duck there. That's a cool one. Wow, super neat. All right, and then yeah, we got this little duck pond here, this beautiful, nice playground here. Unfortunately, apparently, you know, Washingtonia trunks are, at least they say, it's a pain to remove. I don't really know what that means, because it's certainly easier to remove a dead Washingtonia trunk than it is to remove like an actual like oak or sycamore trunk, which is what they're starting to replace the Washingtonia with in LA. And obviously LA is, you know, a technical city designation. So when people say that LA is replacing palm trees, you can still go to other communities like Santa Monica, which is not part of LA. And they certainly, I mean, I assume they'd be replacing the palms. You know, it's a huge, you know, tourism factor. It doesn't crack the pavement. They say it doesn't provide a lot of shade. I mean, look at a Canary Island date palm, even when they get old. I wouldn't exactly say it's the best argument for not planting palms, but yeah. And then you can see these things, I mean, they grow like weeds, and I mean that in a good way. I think that's awesome. Some people don't, but I feel like generally, you know, people in LA, I wouldn't say they hate them, but, you know, they sort of have a sort of non-appreciative view of them, of the palm trees. People that are from LA, I guess. And then, but the thing is that so many people in LA are not born here that I feel like a lot of people would be sort of outraged if they just, LA got rid of the palms altogether, which is obviously never going to happen. I mean, you know, many of these palms in LA, they like to say that, you know, in the news they say that all the palms, if you read the articles, it says like all the palms are dying in LA, but some of the streets have very old Washingtonia that are dying, but many of them you'll go and see they're only like 30 years old or less, and they're going to be there for a while to come. So yeah, don't need to worry about palms disappearing from LA anytime soon. I mean, yeah, look at these two beautiful naturalized palms literally in between this. This is so interesting. I saw one like in the sidewalk crack yesterday. I mean, I wonder what's going to happen, like, as it grows. Is it just going to become super stunted? Is it going to somehow, like, push the cement apart? I mean, is, I mean, I assume what would happen actually is the trunk would bend out of the cement, and maybe the entire root system would shift over. And then, yeah, you can see this naturalized one here. I mean, the seeds are just so prolific, and they, you know, I mean, for all I know, maybe it came from this dead palm. So as one dies, they're always taking over. I mean, you can look at like those little, you know, tiny little plots where they plant trees in the sidewalk. Even when they start replacing the Washingtonia, you can go to those plots and you'll see a bunch of naturalized palms there, which is super cool. And yeah, just really awesome. Look at this. So this is always so interesting when I see this. It's like a partial skirt, and then they just trim the rest of the way up. It's kind of interesting looking, actually. Here they actually left a skirt. It looks really weird when they like do a partial skirt, and then they go back to like this, the hatching, and then they go all the way up and they trim it they trim it a ton, and then they have like the skirt there. It looks kind of weird, but I think it's cool. Actually, it's an interesting look. And then here's like a really cool, you know, like skirt like halfway down the trunk. It's like how they grow wild. Whoa, that's it's interesting. Wow, sounds like a duck. One of these many ducks. There's tons of ducks here. Yeah, this is like a duck. Yes, do not enter, ducks only. So yeah, and anyways, I didn't even tell you guys where I am. I'm on the beautiful Venice canals. Been taking walks around here lately, staying near here. It's just, oh my God, it's an incredible place. Really remarkable place. Just, I mean, insane. This canal system that was built here. It's a really, you know, it's an incredible feature. If you guys are in LA, definitely stop by the Venice canals. You're definitely not a tourist attraction, really. You know, people don't come here. It's not like one of the main tourist sites of the city, but it's a really cool, like, sort of hidden gem of Los Angeles. It's really cool. And you got all these cool bridges over the canal. So I don't know if you can see, but there's more bridges down there. There's actually 4 sets of canals. So there's one there, one here, and then 2 more there, and then there's a main canal which sort of tracks around that way. They form a grid pattern. It's like a square with, you know, 4 canals here, and then there's a main canal which goes all the way down and takes them all the way down to like Marina del Rey and out to the ocean. So it's a super neat system. And there's also giant sea slugs in there. Well, there's lots of fish down there, but yeah, I don't see any sea slugs now, but if I do, I will absolutely show you guys, because those things are so cool. I saw them once, like the first time I was here, and I could not believe how big they were. It's like a normal slug, but about 50 times as big. It's like, I mean, I don't know how to, yeah, I mean, it's huge. Like the size of that frond there. A little smaller maybe, but huge. And by the way, while I have you guys, beautiful cow palms over there. I took a picture of those the other night when I was walking here at night, and that's Rhopalostylus. I think it's Rhopalostylus sapida, and that's the cow palm, the only palm native to mainland New Zealand. It's native to the tropical North Island, or maybe part of it's subtropical, and then it's native about halfway down the South Island of New Zealand. And then there's also Rhopalostylus bowery, and then there's, I think, one other species which are also native to like other islands in that area. I think maybe like territories of New Zealand. But yeah, super neat. I love cow palms. They're actually pretty cold tolerant palms. I've seen some big ones that are like bigger than those. Pictures of them at the Tresco Abbey Gardens in the very south of England, which is just crazy, and they just thrive there. So they're actually pretty cold hardy palms, but they can take LA's warmth, I guess. You know, I mean, some palms, literally it's too warm here to grow stuff like Juania australis, which is a palm native to not Australia, as the name might suggest, but native to these Juan Fernandez Islands off of the coast of Chile. Are actually they're incredibly cold tolerant. They're just super rare. They're, in my opinion, by far the most cold tolerant tropical looking palm. They look incredibly tropical. They're incredibly cold tolerant. There's a huge one growing outside of Dublin in Ireland. I mean, you can look up like Juania, J-U-A, Ireland. It's in some garden. If you just look that up, it's in some garden in Ireland. It's like as big as that king palm, or actually bigger, and it looks like a king palm actually, but it's like that and apparently it can Northern California, but apparently it's impossible to grow. Apparently it's impossible. California, many attempts have been made, none successful. So You guys see those palms? What is that? It's like, looks like a foxtail. It's like a bunch of them lined up there. It's like they're on stilts. Huh, very interesting. Some ultra tropical palm, looks like some sort of tropical. But yeah, not doing too well. The other ones have died. Other stocks. Yeah. Welcome. Thank you so much. Great to have you in here. I haven't seen you in my past live streams, so great to I always love hearing from new people, and it's beautiful. I'm on obviously East Coast time, but it's here, so people probably, that's a beautiful Norfolk Island pine with the Washingtonia. That's a great view. They're really common plants here, and they're beautiful. Huge Canary Island date palms, just insane what grows here. I mean, pretty much really ultra tropical plants. Yesterday was like really cold for LA. No problem. Connection was unstable, so I hope that does not continue. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully the connection's better. By the way, Kevin, how's the connection? I hope it's all right. Hope it's all good. And yeah, last time I was here, I did a live stream here. Was, I don't know how long ago. Was it like a year ago, or was it like 6 months ago, or was it before COVID? I can't remember. Either way, it was the connection was definitely not good, so hopefully it's better this time. Well, look at these things. That's crazy. Jesus. Oh, that is crazy. Beautiful. Look at these cacti here. Wow, looks like an agave pear there. I've never seen one. They're cold hardy. Lots of agave americana, of course. Very, very common plants here. They've naturalized all over in LA, but they're actually from Mexico. They're beautiful. Look at this. It's crazy. This is giant yucca here. Beautiful eucalyptus right there. Magnificent. Look at that. Double Washingtonia. That's like the classic bungalow house with the with the two Washingtonians sticking up. Just beautiful. I love that. They're like exactly the same size. Just looks so cool. Trimmed very well, not over pruned. You don't see a lot of over pruned palms in people's yards. It's mostly like the city and like commercially planted palms, like maybe restaurants or something, that are super over pruned. So yeah, huge camera ops there. Wow, look at that thing. James Tropicals, welcome. Thanks for joining in. How's the connection? Are you hearing me all right? Because sometimes it gets really like. So I hope the connection's all right. And where should I go? Yeah, I hope the connection's okay. Whoa, actually there's something very cool over there that I want to show you guys. Thanks for joining. It's great to have some people in here, and I always have so much fun doing these, and especially in a place like LA. How can you not love it here? Wow, look at that. Look how many fish are there. So can you guys, I hope you guys can see all right when it's like, I wonder what my zoom is, because for some reason my phone is very, poor zoom, and I'm someone who loves taking pictures and videos, as you know. I love, especially at palms, I take pictures all the time. I used to have like a Canon camera, and I used my phone most. Pretty bad. Like once you zoomed it, it got really blurry, and now I broke the lens. That was not good. I dropped it, my phone, onto rock like that, and the rock cracked like right here in the camera. But thankfully the glass broke actually on my camera, but that's like the protective cover, so I was able to remove actually some of the glass, and the camera itself, I think it was getting a little blurred out by the broken glass. And I hope this is what I wanted to show you guys. Look, I've never... Usually you see them like branching from multiple trunks from the base. A trunk, and it just goes out and branches. Beautiful. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then like 3 more or 2 more branches there. So it's like 9 trunks out of this one trunk coming out of the ground. You can see those 2 more were cut there, but beautiful. This is like the inflorescence, where the inflorescence comes out. Look at this thing. This is a big phoenix. Small species, so one of the most common palms in LA. Well, here they're actually hardy, but they can do pretty well here. They're definitely palms, I'd say. You'll see some maybe in like southern South Carolina. You start to see them. So not that cold hardy, but yeah, they definitely do really well here. Wow, so beautiful. Look at this. Look how beautiful this is. You can hear me, awesome. You can see fine art, perfect. I'm glad to hear that. I'm super glad to hear that. Look at that beautiful queen palm. Beautiful. So yeah, look at this Washingtonia there. It's just magnificent. Look at the reflection. It's just always so perfectly still here. The water, because it's just, it's tidal, it comes from the ocean, and there's not really anything to disturb it. It's not like a moving water source. It just sort of comes in and out from the ocean, so it flows, but it flows incredibly slowly. It has a perfect reflection. Look at that Canary Island date palm, just so beautiful. All the way there. Beautiful. It's been interesting just noticing how many of the Washingtonia are actually, slightly hybridized. A lot of what people would call Robusta are actually more, look like they have a little bit of Folifera in them, mostly. I mean, there's still obviously a lot of pure Robusta, but it's just been interesting. Like this, for example, this looks like a pure, this actually does look like more of a pure Robusta, but occasionally sometimes you'll see them with like slightly wider trunk, and yeah, then look at that. That is so cool. That's like paradise. Look at that. These things are like 60 feet up there, 70 feet up there. It's crazy. That is crazy. These palms are pretty nice. You gotta love them. Just so cool. The gardens here are incredible. Look at this view. Look at this. It's crazy. Look at that with the Washingtonia in the water. Reflection. Look at the size of that cactus. Jesus. That is a huge cactus. I planted 100 Cuban royal palm seeds and 25. Wow, James Tropicals. That's awesome. Did you put them right in the ground? Well, wait, where are you? Are you in a? Where are you located, and what's your climate? Because obviously royal palms, I'm sure as you know, are not very hardy. Queen palms a little more so. But look at that thing. Look how cool that is. Wow, looks like an egret. Beautiful. Hope I don't scare it. Look at this Washingtonia here. This is a Howea forrestriana, Kencha palm. People say these look like, sorry, not this. People say these look like coconuts, and they do look a little bit like coconuts, but once you get up close, you see those curved fronds. I mean, it doesn't replicate a coconut. Look at that. Look how cool that is. Not scared at all. You live in central Utah, plant them in pots. Awesome, yeah, because that'd be interesting actually, because I know I've seen like St. George, Utah, where you got lots of palms. It'd be interesting to try. would be interesting to try a queen palm in very southwestern Utah. And I've seen a picture of one, you know, in St. George, but it didn't, I'm not sure if it survived there. I mean, it has to be an insanely mild winter, but that is awesome. Yeah, unfortunately, in your climate and unfortunately in mine, I would, you know, here in LA, they both obviously do super well. I saw a really nice royal palm last night, some really nice ones on Palisades Park at Santa Monica. Beautiful royal palms there. Actually, they look really great. And unfortunately, and in yours, all we can do is keep them in pots. They're not the most hardy, but they are magnificent. So that's really awesome. I love that. Central Utah, yep. I was driving right through there over the summer, going to a bunch of national parks. Wow, look at the size of these Arconta Phoenix. Look at the size of this thing. Sorry. Let me zoom out. Just magnificent. Look at the inflorescence on these things. It's like a 5-foot inflorescence. It's crazy. Grows like right where the crown shaft starts. Wrong ends of the crown. It's going out. I'm new to palms this year. I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Plant windmill and needle stable minor. Who's new to someone who's an experienced palm grower, that is a perfect palm selection, I can tell you. That's exactly what I would plant if I was there. Stable minor, needle palm. I've seen pictures of some pretty close to bulletproof there, so they should all do really well, unless you have like an extremely rough winter, which maybe would kill the windmill palm. I mean, windmill palms are pretty much bulletproof there. I've seen pictures of huge windmill palms in Chattanooga at the Arboretum there. Stable minor, needle palm, absolutely bulletproof. So that is just awesome. That is a perfect selection. Yeah, and then you can also try experimenting with other like Trachycarpus species in the windmill palm genus, but it'd be interesting to see a palmetto there. Oh, look at that fountain. These homes are insane. These homes are really insane. Look at this crazy modern home. Just beach. Got the pier down there. Look at this view. How can you not love that? There. The Santa Monica Bay curving around right there. It's like right through there. You got the water. Love that. Right on the beach. It's amazing. Oh, it's perfect. These palms are so tough. I mean, you know, I've seen them looking a little beat up from the salt spray of the ocean, but they take it, I mean, really well. I mean, think about what they have to endure here with all the constant spray coming off the ocean. Look at this. This is this is the chaparral prickly pear, Puncha auricola. It's like an actual trunking cactus on it. It's really crazy. Wild. You guys can check my videos out on those. But yeah, Kevin, just want to, yeah, that's maybe that's another palm that would make it probably for, but it'd be an interesting like zone pushing experiment, because that's certainly an area where you could the spear on this thing. Beautiful. Interesting. But yeah, look at this dog tearing at the palm husk. The dog was tearing at one of those palm husks from up there. I still love palms, bro. hopefully. So yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I have a bunch of sable palmetto, about 35 of them, 40 of them maybe, in a pot that I got from Virginia Beach. Collected a bunch of seed from a super hardy palmetto at the end of the board. There were like palms that had naturalized from it that were already like close to as tall as me. So these things were super hardy. There was like sable grass everywhere, meaning it's like seedling. There's also a bunch of seed on the palm and a bunch of seed on the ground. So I just grabbed some off the ground. I mean, it was a huge palm that had clearly been through a bunch of rough winters, but was doing super well. And I came there like right after. I went to Virginia Beach in the time of year when the palms would be looking their absolute for winter, when they'd be almost no dead palmetto. Actually, there, gotta love amazing on Venice. It's just crazy. Yeah, it's funny. Always as I go to the ocean, always when I'm at the beach, like the last time I was live streaming, when I was at the beach is when it got the worst. And then when I go inland, it gets better. But yeah, anyways, my sable palmetto seeds, which have germinated, I was gonna go a little older because it's already like winter, but I want to give them, I want to give them some time to adjust. So I'm gonna put them in the ground next spring, probably pretty early next spring. And then, we'll see. That'll be a good test for them. How's it? It's not saying that, so he's a little bit better. I know, but obviously I'm gonna maybe go another in, but it's just amazing. I'm sure surprised you don't see more growing in the sand there, but you got like Washingtonia right here, like in a rock. These things are such tough palms. Not equate to toughness. That's what people don't understand. How tough a palm is, toughest palms, because it can adapt to all walks and like the sidewalk cracks. And yeah, exactly. Picture, because robusta are less hardy than Phylifera. But I saw a picture of one that was about as big as that biggest Washingtonia there on a street in St. George, and it looked magnificent. So it's rare to see one that big there, because bad winters can take them out. They can even damage Phylifera. You'll see them after a winter in St. George, an average winter even, you'll see Phylifera maybe looking a little damaged, but no, they're tough. And yeah, I mean, they can make it. So here's a cool, like the one, it's funny because Phylifera used to be the most common palm in LA back in like the 1800s and 1700s when, it was the only native palm to California, so it was brought here. And now with the, robustas coming out from southern Baja, they're just so much more common. But thankfully, here we've got a nice, looks like pretty pure Phylifera. Absolutely huge. Look at that thing. Not really cost. Huge trunk, just it's of these robusta. Maybe even more so. It's of Venice. And you can see these buildings are actually modeled after the building. This was originally modeled by a guy named Abbot Kinney, who the main street in Venice is named for him, named in his honor. He called it Venice of America. It was his invention. He studied architecture. He went to Europe, went around, visited numerous cities looking at the architecture, and he went to Venice. And he was so inspired by it that he decided to come here to the West Coast. He's from America. And he came to the West Coast and, in LA County, built the city that he called Venice of America. And now it's known as Venice. It's part of LA now. And yeah, his invention lives on. So the Venice canals that we know today that I just showed you guys are only a tiny fragment of what used to be. I mean, like Abbot Kinney Boulevard used to be a canal. The canals used to go all the way, and then they paved them all over in like the 50s, I think. but there's still those remnants in the neighborhood, which are super cool. But yeah, all the architecture, this is obviously a little different, but like a couple streets over in like downtown Venice, all the architecture is reminiscent of that of Venice, Italy. It's super cool. It's a really cool neighborhood. One of the coolest in LA, definitely. That's really unfortunate to see. Did this thing just die or something? Huh, that's really, doesn't look like it was that old. I mean, what do I know, but the trunks does not look like it was old enough to die. But that's really unfortunate. It always makes you sad. I mean, obviously there's like, you know, like 8,000 Washingtonia for every one dead, 8,000 living Washingtonia for every dead one, but just always makes me sad seeing dead palms. I wish they'd remove it and plant another one. That's what they should do, and they do it sometimes, but yeah, look at the mountains over those San Gabriel Mountains. Look at that. Beautiful. Look at the mountains, the Santa Monica Mountains there. All right, folks. The connection, all right, yeah, I hope the connection is good now. All right. Across. It's still green. There we go. All right, folks. Glad to hear it. Nice Arcata Phoenix over there. Huge eucalyptus here. All right, folks. So yeah, this is like the northern end of the canals. This is like where the canals officially end. They go past the residential area and then just like end here. Huge Phoenix there. That looks like Canariensis. Almost, you know, most of the naturalized Phoenix here are Canariensis because they're definitely more common than Dactylifera. Yeah, it's nice to see them. Always seeing the naturalized palms. So this is the official end of the Venice canals. I don't know where it goes from there, maybe out to the ocean. Because I know it goes that way to the ocean, this main canal, but I don't know where it goes from there. Look for some sea slugs here. I wonder how deep it is in the middle. It looks like it's only like maybe 2 feet or something. Although in the other areas it gets deeper. Maybe it's like 3-4 feet there. What a beautiful area. Well, guys, is there anything you want to see? Anything that you're interested in? Any palms you want to see? I mean, I don't know the location of a bunch of palms here, but yeah, I mean, look at that view. It's just incredible. Look at that. It's so beautiful. Down the canals with all the palms. What camera do you use? Palms, good to see you. Thanks for joining in. I use, this is an iPhone, and I also film all my videos on an iPhone. So, iPhone pretty much, I always used to use a Canon camera before I had an iPhone. I used to not have an iPhone, so I used a Canon. PowerShot HP, one of the, the PowerShot Canons. But, that one, well, my original one died, so I got a new one, and then I just got a phone, and the quality is pretty good. The zoom feature on my iPhone is much worse than other ones I've seen, but the camera itself is actually a really good camera. So yeah, I use it. It's really nice. But it's funny you should ask that, because I actually broke the camera yesterday. I dropped it and the lens of the camera hit a rock when I was hiking. These pockets are horrible. They're like so not deep. You can see they're like really not deep. I mean, yeah, look at that. They're really very bad pockets. It's like an athletic wear. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's like a sports pants. So you don't like, you know, because you wouldn't usually put stuff in them, but it's just terrible. Like, I dropped it and the lens shattered, but thankfully the thing that shattered was like the protective glass around the camera. So now the camera is, I guess, exposed. And if I drop that, I could break that. But I don't know if there's some way to get it replaced. Like right here, there's like broken glass, and I was able to get some of it out. But yeah, it's just broken right now. And I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's just exposed now, so I don't know if I can get the glass fixed around it, or if I have to get a new camera, no, new phone. Obviously not going to get a new phone just for that, but I don't know if that would require one to fix the camera fully. But you know what, the function's actually working well. It's still recording, and it's still, the camera's still doing all right. The zoom function's been messed up because since the glass broke, but it's still all right. I mean, you guys can see the quality's still pretty good. Even when I zoom in, you know, it looks all right. So yeah. Some sort of aloe there. Super cool. Wow, we got two different species of aloe here. It's a nice younger one here. Beautiful. Look at the flower on that thing. Just so incredibly exotic looking. So beautiful. Hey, Joseph's Animations. Good to have you in here. Thanks for joining. It's a nice day here in Venice, California. It's beautiful. It's about 65 degrees, maybe getting close to 70 now. It's definitely warmed up quite a bit since I started, because I was in the shade in the alley when I started. Now it's actually warmed up. And wow, some nice plantings here. This is a bunch of cactus. Fortunately, it's been toppled over. But yeah, let's see what we can do about that. Let's see if I can. I want to be really careful where I put my finger, because this thing, I mean, they can root in super easily, so I don't even need to stand it up. But hopefully, maybe if I can cover those roots. This thing looks like it was recently knocked over. Yeah, sorry, can you guys see that? It's a nice apuntia. It looks like maybe, it looks kind of like the chaparral prickly pear, just a really young one, because it can get huge. I'll try to cover that with soil and hope it grows. I mean, these things root in so easily that I'm hopeful it'll grow. This thing looks like someone took a bite out of it. Not exactly a tasty bite. Really nice cacti here. Can you find a Majesty Palm? Huh, I'll try. They're actually pretty rare here. It's really rare. You know, I'm gonna walk down along the canals and then try to, you know, I'm always looking for them, but I've only seen like one since I've been here. Actually, I don't know if I've seen any this time. I will look though. I'm always looking for Majesty, but if I see a Majesty Palm, I'll let you know. Let me go take a look. All right, okay, those types of shorts are sketchy. Lost my phone on the highway. Whoa, that's not good. I'm so sorry to hear that. You lost your phone on the highway doing that. It's terrible. Look at that view. Yeah, these are, they're not, I mean, this is like, the pockets are like so not deep. They're terrible. But, yeah, I mean, they're like lightweight shorts. The other ones I wear are not, but they have much better pockets. So, yeah. Look at this one. Jesus, I have no idea what species this is. Look at the size of that pad right there. Look at the size of those fruits on it. Those look like some tasty prickly pears, I can tell you that. Looking for sea slugs here. Look at the size of these birds of paradise here. It's an ugly, cloudy, humid day. Wow, it's the complete opposite here. It's actually been cloudy the past couple of days, but it is clear as can be. Look at that blue sky. Yeah, it's actually been really nice here. I'm someone who kind of likes the clouds, actually. Unlike most people, I like the clouds, I like the rain, especially here in LA. It's really cool to have like rain here, but yeah, it's certainly not humid, and it's about like 70 right now probably. So it's actually perfect here. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that humidity. Dallas can have some pretty rough humidity in the summer. This thing looks like it was not naturalized. This looks more like a planted specimen. But you can see it's just starting to get those palmate leaves emerging from the immature fronds. Just starting to become palmate. Looks more like this one looks a little more dactylifera-like than Phoenix canariensis. But, you know, whichever Phoenix it is, it's doing really well. It looks like a Phoenix to me. And, yeah, hopefully. Look at that. Little free library. It looks like on one of the docks there. You could just, like, kayak up to it. People have like, paddle boats. They have, like, you know, canoes, kayaks. It's super cool. It's incredible. The lifestyle here in the canals. I can't imagine living here. It'd be crazy. So beautiful. That's a nice Washingtonia. Yeah, there are nice Washingtonias everywhere. The Washingtonias here are just incredible. The classic lollipop shape. Just beautiful, just towering over the canals. Just a nice one there. Just beautiful. Yeah, this place is incredible. You got some nice Washingtonias in Dallas, though. Even after the freeze, you still got some nice ones. Spanish flag across there. Interesting. All right. Ever eaten prickly pear fruit? I've never eaten prickly pear fruit. It's on the top of my bucket list. There actually are some prickly pear near me that produce fruits in the DC area. Just I've never collected any, and I've never eaten it. I really wanted to. I've been to my local grocery store looking for them. They don't have it at like most of the grocery stores I've been to in the DC area. Look at this swallowtail here. Beautiful, beautiful. Paddleboard there. Beautiful canals there. It's crazy. So this canal, this is the one main canal. It like splits off into these four, it's like 1, 2, 3, and then 4. It splits off into these 4 sort of grids. It forms like a grid pattern, but this one canal goes all the way down past the grid and it takes it all the water all the way out to the ocean. Yeah, see, 2, 3, 3, 3 Grand Canal. So this is the Grand Canal of what's left of the Venice canals, and this takes the water all the way down to like Marina del Rey and into the ocean. So this is all salt water coming from the ocean. There's a grove of sable minor mixed with prickly pear cactus. Whoa, that is so cool. I've always wanted to see that, sable minor prickly pear, because I bet you somewhere, maybe in like a dry site, they grow together. Or actually, I bet you somewhere maybe on like a coastal sand dune or something, you could find sable minor growing with prickly pear. You can definitely find like Serrano repens and stuff growing with prickly pear down in Florida, but that is so cool. Or in like Georgia, I would love to see that. That is so cool. Yeah, that's awesome. There's some nice sable minor here at what's it called? At the Huntington Gardens where I've been. And some nice other sable palmetto, sable mexicanas. There's some really nice one. Cool. I eat the fruits a lot. That's awesome. Yeah, I really want to. Yeah, the canal's awesome, especially with the boat or jet ski. Have you seen any fish? Oh yeah, there's lots of fish. There are lots of fish in the canal. Yeah, it is awesome. Here, there's some fish right there. I wonder if you can see them swimming. Yeah, you see them swimming right there? Sorry, it's really hard with the glare, but yeah, there are some fish, and I've seen some bigger ones too. Actually, huge cactus there. Beautiful. Hey, Sandor, great to have you in here. It's been a while since I've done a live stream. By the way, for you, look at this. This one's actually in a pot. One of the only Camerops you actually see in a pot here, but look at the size of that solitary trunk Camerops. It's got like, it looks like maybe a naturalized Washingtonia or something in there. But yeah, look at that thing. Sandor, the Camerops are huge here. Yeah, you'd love it. This place is Camerops heaven. They're everywhere here. I'm gonna walk down here, try to find some more. it's interesting as you go to different neighborhoods, seeing which palms are more in style and more out, you know. People have been using king palms, and pygmy dates have really only come recently and have really become popular recently. You'll see a lot of old queen palms here. You'll see a lot of younger ones in other neighborhoods where people plant them a lot. Here they're mostly older ones, I feel like, or maybe not mostly older ones, but there's a lot of older ones like that. You know, I mean, and I said at the beginning of the live stream that, you know, I feel like often people say queen palms look ratty, and they're like, people often list them as like what they think the ugliest palm is. But I think that if you have a good looking queen palm, like an old one, I think it just looks magnificent. Look at the fruit on that thing. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. Look at that thing. It's a crazy crop. And look at all the naturalized palm seedlings in there. You see all those seedlings, and in there, and there, there's just seedlings everywhere. You just see them, like, I literally see them in the sidewalk cracks. You see, specifically Washingtonia, you know, Phoenix sometimes, even queen palms, you'll see them naturalized everywhere. Beautiful, look at this. Yeah, this Washingtonia are just magnificent. Huge pygmy date there. You know, obviously they stay small, so they can still be small and be huge for pygmy dates. Ooh, squirrel running there. All right, yeah, the canal, the canals are so cool, really cool. And there's some giant sea slugs, like huge, that I've seen here only once, but they are in here, so I'm gonna try to find some. I'm always looking for them. Yeah, look at the mountains. Look at just that view down the canals. With this, sorry, my camera's really blurry. As I said, Sandra, I don't know if you were there, but I actually broke my camera yesterday. I dropped it on the ground, and it's my phone camera, and it hit the rock when I was hiking, and it shattered the glass. But thankfully the camera's still working. It's just the glass around it's broken, just like the protective glass. So hopefully it'll be all right. The quality's a little bit worse, but you can see it still zooms all right. It already had blurry zoom before, so yeah, it's still a good camera though, and you can see the clarity hopefully is still really good. Hopefully it's still all right. Nice cactus there. That's a crazy one. I have no idea what species these are. That is really crazy. Look at this thing. Look at that thing. Just magnificent. Super cool prickly pear there. Look at these. Really insane what grows here. I need to buy a plane to LA just to see the, oh yes, you do. Huntington Gardens is incredible. It's like every palm, you know, imaginable in LA, and so much more that are just so rare here. You know, in one garden, there's literally an area, a large area just called the Palm Garden, just filled with palms and cycads. It's really incredible. Look at the size of these phoenix. So again, when LA is saying they want to replace all the palms with more shade-tolerant trees like oak and sycamore, well, first of all, many oak and all sycamore species lose their leaves in winter. So, you know, even if palms provide less shade, they're still evergreen. So like a good third of the year, they're going to be providing a lot more shade than oaks and sycamore, unless you're using live oak, of course, which maybe they are, but still sycamore, which are everywhere. Again, no shade, late fall through early spring. And then, I mean, look at this. Just plant a phoenix. You don't have to plant, if you want to replace it with more shade-tolerant things, you at least use a phoenix. I mean, come on, look how much shade that thing provides. That's like 30 feet across, 20, 30 feet across from side to side. Just huge. So, I mean, come on. I mean, they provide a lot of shade, I think. A mature phoenix, that thing provides a lot of shade. And it's also a huge, you know, attractant for tourists. You know, I mean, all tourists, you know, this is one of the first things people associate with California, specifically LA, is the palm trees, of course. I mean, you know, if you get rid of those, you're getting rid of tourists. I mean, people love them, so obviously LA is never going to replace all the palms. They have some areas that they're going to keep them, but unfortunately some of the older ones that are dying, they are replacing with other, you know, other species, other tree species. Yeah, Huntington Gardens is really amazing. Sandra, here's a plant that might be a little more familiar to you, that you have in your own garden, actually. Look at this thing, Southern Magnolia. Oh, it smells amazing. That flower smells incredible. But yeah, I mean, this is, you'll see Southern Magnolia actually planted a good deal in LA. It's really interesting. I've seen them in Hawaii. Supposedly, I've never been there, but I've seen pictures of them in Hawaii. Yeah, I mean, Southern Magnolia is actually planted a lot here, and on some of the older, more historic neighborhoods, you'll see them planted on, like, lining the streets, along with like Phoenix, Canariensis, and lots of other palms, of course. Look at the inflorescence on this king palm. Just beautiful. So yeah, these are very popular here in LA. They're definitely, I think, nowadays becoming very, very popular, quickly probably becoming the most popular palm in modern LA. There's some fish right there. Look at that thing. Whoa. Look at that. These things are not scared at all. I walked right by it. There's lots of these on the boats here. So cool. Is that an egret? It looks like an egret to me. I don't know though. I'm not great with bird identification. I know some of the native birds like DC area, but that's it. Where exactly are you? I'm in Venice. I'm on the Venice canals. So Venice was designed by a guy who wanted to bring the architecture of Venice, Italy to the US, and he called it Venice of America. So it's not a coincidence it's named Venice and it has canals. It's actually designed after the canals of Venice, Italy, and actually what remains here is just the canals in this residential area. And this is the Grand Canal, which goes all the way from down there all the way out to the ocean. Sorry, let me zoom out. Goes all the way down to the ocean in Marina del Rey. So it's still pretty big, but all the main streets of Venice, California, which is actually part of LA, have buildings designed after Venice, Italy, and all the main streets actually used to be canals. And they used to have like actual gondolas and gondoliers from Venice, but they actually got rid of them, I think, in the 50s and filled in a lot of the old canals. So this is what remains. What palm is this, by the way? This is incredibly beautiful. Look at this thing, super clumping, super huge, just magnificent. Look at that Musa, just beautiful. Again, I'm terrible with banana ID. I don't know, besides like Baju and some of the species that you'll see in the DC area. I'm terrible with them. Oh, by the way, who is it that asked for a Majesty Palm? I think it was Palms. Was it Palms? Did you ask for Majesty Palm? Yes. Well, I found one, sure enough. Look at that thing. Pretty good luck. Found a Majesty Palm right there. Look at that Majesty Palm. The trunk on that thing is huge. Again, I mean, you never see them with a trunk on the East Coast. You'll see them all over planted as potted specimens. Never like this. I mean, the ones at Huntington Gardens are like 50 feet. I mean, this thing's obviously a small one, but the one there is just huge. It's crazy. Look at that. Look at that one. That's a beautiful Majesty Palm with a nice trunk on. I don't know if you guys can see it. The swell at the bottom of the trunk there. It's really beautiful. Almost bottle palm like in that sense. And there's some nice fish there. Small ones, but still, it's cool. So this is all seawater coming right in from the ocean. So yeah, I'm in Venice, on the Venice canals. You can look up, if you look up Venice canals, you can see the map of them. This is this Grand Canal. It comes up here, and I don't know where the first canal starts. I think it's up there. So you have these 4 canals that branch off into this little square-like grid pattern. There's lots of homes on the canals. There's lots of boats. It's really beautiful. And then you have this thing called the Grand Canal, which goes all the way down. I don't know how long it is. Probably more than a mile, all the way down to the Marina del Rey, and into the ocean. Look at this beautiful queen palm. Huge Arcanta Phoenix. These are probably the most tropical-looking common palm in LA. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, obviously you have lots of actual tropical palms you can grow in LA. These are more subtropical. But yeah, look at that thing. Wow, look at that spider. You guys see that? Sorry, I know that's not focusing well. Wow, that's crazy. Dipsis lutescens. Yes, thank you. Thank you. That seems right. Yeah, Dipsis lutescens. Yeah. I've rarely seen one of those. I don't think I've ever seen one when I was out here before, but yeah, I guess there's some of them around. Thank you for the ID. I'm not as good at IDing those, I guess, more rare palms that you won't see. Here, look at that nice tree fern in there. Lots of tree ferns here. Last time I went to LA, we were driving down the street in Burbank, and I saw some huge Canary Island day palms. They're probably 40 to 50 feet. Oh wow, across. That's crazy. Yeah. They can grow close to 100 feet. I've seen some huge ones in Hollywood. If you go to Hollywood, like the Hollywood neighborhood, near some of the studios, like and stuff. Old neighborhood. Upscale on a day. Yeah, the palace. Yeah, this. I like, I like seeing obviously lots of exotic stuff here, but I do love seeing, stuff that's more familiar to like, more exotic stuff like at that. See how the canals continue way down there. Southern Magnolias here too. It's nice to see them, like these common palms down. Those huge ones, yes. Just insane, they're so common here and I see them so much, but I'm never not amazed by them. They always amaze me. Nice other Majesty Palm there in a pot. They look a little bit like coconuts when they're young, but they have a lot thicker trunks. That's the thing. Here's some naturalized Washingtonia. Hi. Look at that view with the mountains over there. Very right. Wow, look at that. That looks like a Ficus Macrophylla, which is the what's it called? It's one of those banyan trees. I'm forgetting the name now. I'm forgetting the name. Morton Bay fig. Hi. So yeah, these are, they're beautiful trees, but they're really, the roots actually, they are surprisingly, like, they'll go around buildings, they won't crack up buildings, the roots will move a lot, but in an area that small, it's just, they can't really do it. Look at this sidewalk, it's just cracking like crazy. I can stick my foot under here. Jesus, that's crazy. Yeah, you can see they tried to pave over it, but it's just not good, it just cracks the sidewalk up. They're beautiful trees. I love them, don't get me wrong, but you do need a little bit more room than that to plant them. Hey, I'd rather see those over sycamores, I'll tell you that. I'm tired of seeing sycamores out here. This is LA, you should not be planting sycamore. There are native sycamores, obviously, in LA County. This is the western sycamore, but, in my opinion, plant more exotic stuff. It's just better for the city, I feel like. Okay, sorry guys, I'm not reading your comments. There are a lot of Magnolias in Dallas. They're native, not far from Dallas, not that far. So I bet there are tons. You see, I see them in New Jersey when I visit my grandparents. There's tons of them actually by the coast. There's such cool trees. And there's also other tropical Magnolia species that I've seen in LA too. I don't know the exact names of all of them, but there's some really cool tropical species. Queen palm in a pot there. Should get that thing in the ground soon. Because they do well here. That is, whoa. That's a thick trunk queen palm. It's got some ivy on it there. Nice ones there. Again, these neighborhoods are just beautiful. They look amazing. Kench also great. The palms are not. Thank you. Yeah. Dipsis lutescens. It's a really cool palm. I thought you were in Venice. Great. Yeah, I am in Venice. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's a fantastic area. It's one of the coolest areas of LA, and like much of LA, but specifically I feel like LA sort of follows in Venice's footsteps in terms of revitalization and stuff. Venice is always, I guess, they say it's always reinventing itself, which it is. You see all these old Spanish style homes and bungalows and a lot of these old, old ones. There's actually a lot of them on this street, but you see the perfect example right here. A lot of them are being torn down and replaced with these modern homes. This actually isn't, you can see what it's gonna look like up there. Like that. But a lot of them are all glass along the canals. So they're replacing a lot of them with these modern homes, and it's cool. But I like also the old bungalows. Are super cool looking too. So it's like a mix of historic preservation and also reinventing and all sorts of new modern architecture here. It's just a super cool neighborhood. It's got a great feel. If you guys come to Venice, if you come to LA, definitely come to Venice. Speaking of old Phoenix, by the way, how about that? Wow. That is something. I'm gonna walk down towards there actually. Geez, those trees are really only the other trees. Yeah, exactly, same. Yeah, I mean, are you talking about the Ficus Macrophylla? Because they are pretty much, yeah, they're one of the most common street trees planted here, which I love because they are actually very exotic trees. They are, and then if you see them when they're really old, like there's some really old ones, they get these huge classic banyan roots that like the roots rise up like this high, and they're like still roots. They're super cool. I wish I could, you know, if I find one, I'll show you guys. But yeah, just walking around here, it's just so pleasant. Look at all this Washingtonia and all those, you know, saggers, all that stuff, all the palms. God, I wish I could just take these back and boil them. I need some gloves though to remove them because they're really spiny. But look at those prickly pears. None of them are actually that ripe yet. They're all like, a couple of them are green. Most of them are like pink. They turn pretty much universally across the Apuntia genus. They turn a deep purple when they ripen. Yeah, that looks like, what species is this actually? Actually, yeah, this does look like the chaparral prickly pear. Yeah, this is, I think it's Apuntia auricola, which is the chaparral prickly pear native to coastal LA, along with the coastal prickly pear, which stays a lot smaller. So that looks like a chaparral prickly pear to me. A few days ago in school, I was science class, and each day there is a joke my teacher makes up, and the most recent, what kind of tree can hold in your palm? A palm tree, huh? That's a good joke, except at a certain point, that's you're gonna need to have a pretty big palm to hold those palms. No, yeah, that's. Hey, I'm glad to hear a palm reference, because I feel like you know, more people need to learn about palms. Maybe that's just me. Maybe more people don't, but I feel like they should. You know, they're important trees, incredibly important economically and commercially. You know, with this fruit they produce. Look at those nice washies. You know, partially skirted. Nice Hawaii over there. Really does, you know, resemble a coconut, but not quite like a coconut. You know, there's nothing like a real coconut. That's why people are like, why would you keep trying a coconut here if they can't grow? Well, not only can they grow, as you guys saw in my other video, but there's just nothing like a real coconut. I mean, it's true. What is that? Oh, that's just a Archonta Phoenix in there. So yeah, this is like the kind of crazy modern place that you see, replacing these old bungalow and old houses here. Sorry, 1 second. A few days ago, nobody laughed after that. Ah, that's unfortunate. I definitely, I would laugh if I was there. I'd, you know, I'd be offended if people didn't laugh. I don't get offended by stuff, but I do get offended when people disrespect palms. That's when I get offended. Yeah, on my trip over the summer, we went out to, you know, I did a backpacking trip out in the Sierra Nevada. Fortunately, I couldn't bring my phone, so I couldn't take videos. And my camera it was a terrible camera. It didn't actually allow me to take videos, but over the summer I went out to, you know, went to Yosemite, went to the Sierras, and even up in those high elevation California towns in Northern California where it gets cold, you'll see huge Folifera, huge Robusta, huge Trachycarpus, actually very common there. Just a lot of big palms, even some queen palms up there, especially in the Central Valley when you're driving across. And people just, you know, I was talking about them, I was like, oh, isn't that so cool? And they're just like, no one really, I mean, some people did, but most people I see, it feels like either didn't care about them or just like, oh, I don't really like palm trees. It's like, you kidding me? Come on. I mean, how do you not like palm trees? I don't know. Maybe I'm weird, but I feel like a lot of people like them. It's just not a lot of people know about them. But anyways, look at that. Oh my God. That is magnificent. See, if you plant them right next to each other, they grow large enough where like they create like one mutual shade canopy. I mean, like across. Sorry, I'm gonna get out of the sun for a second because I was looking up. Because when if you look across, that's like 40 feet across or more, just of canopy. I mean, it's crazy. Look how big these roots get. They obviously, you can see they trimmed them away, and that's actually all right. You can these Canary Island Day Palm root balls, they get like super huge, but you can actually trim them away. It doesn't harm them. You don't want to trim the underground roots, but you can trim the above ground root system. But yeah, these two Phoenix were probably planted a long time ago. This is like a very well pruned Phoenix. Got that little bit of a pineapple look up there. You know, it's got a little bit of that trimmed look up there. It's super cool. Just looks magnificent. These are probably how old? I don't know. These are probably 100 years old or more. I mean, these are just ancient. Maybe a little bit less. I actually have seen some that are bigger than that, but those are some pretty big, nice phoenix. I mean, it's just crazy. It's really crazy. And then you see that queen palm there with seed on it, just incredible. All right, probably because everyone, yeah, people probably were zoned out, Joseph. Very neat. Been there and love it, so palmy. Banana J's Asai, thanks for joining in, Joe. Great to see you here. How are you doing? It's been a long time since I've seen you on here. It's great to have you on here, and yeah, thank you so much for joining in. It's great to see you. Yeah, I'm out here in LA, as you can probably tell. Definitely not DC, as much as I wish it was. But yeah, look at these things. I wonder if this is naturalized. It almost looks naturalized. I wonder, because these things produce such a large seed crop. I wouldn't be surprised. These giant queen palms. Nice sago there. Agave. Americana. All right, guys, I'm gonna take a left here. Great live video and loving the SoCal. Oh, thank you so much, Sander. Yeah, so today, hopefully, I think we're heading out to, sorry, before I say that, nice big Magnolia right there. That does look like, kind of like grandiflora. Sometimes it's hard to tell between the different species, but that one looks like grandiflora to me. Looks a little bit stout, but it looks good. Got some more banyans over there. Nice fig trees. Yeah, they look really good there. And that's also a little bit more grassy, so it doesn't tear up the sidewalk as much. DC, you know, they don't plant any palms, obviously. So, you know, all the street trees are just tearing the sidewalks up like crazy. They usually give them a little more room, but still, yeah, they tear them up. All right. Yeah, thank you so much, Sandra. So today, if all goes well, hopefully, I mean, we should be heading out to near Palm Springs to Joshua Tree and actually see where the Washingtonia foliifera grow wild. So maybe, just maybe, you guys can, I might be able to make a video on some wild Washingtonia foliifera, which I've never seen, and I really want to. Like, they grow wild, not like a forest, but in like these around these oases, like around these springs. There's the canals down there, and it's just so cool. It's like always, you know, it's so cool to see them growing wild. They're just magnificent palms, and yeah, seeing foliifera growing wild. I actually prefer foliifera to robusta, I think, just because, you know, I feel palms, those are obviously not rare, but they're just so much less common in LA than robusta, which obviously you can sell robusta here. That I really like. I think I might like foliifera more. Like an old foliifera, I think looks really cool. Like a really old one. You see some really old ones in LA. Here's something for you, Joe, actually. Here's a windmill palm. Look at this. You don't see these, well, you see them actually a good amount in LA, but, you know, often they'll have, as you can see here, a little bit of browning to the front. Certainly not an ideal climate here, but they can make it with, you know, ample water. Wow, nice cholla there, and nice prickly pear. Hey, look at this thing. Wow, that is a big windmill. Look at this trunk on this thing. So yeah, I'm sure, as you guys know, the windmill palms have, you know, crazy skinny trunks here. Oh my God. What is happening there? Do you guys see this? Are you guys seeing this thing? Look at the trunk on this thing. It literally goes up and then bends down and then goes back up. I've never seen a palm like that in person. Oh my God. Look at what on earth happened to this thing. It's like it was growing under like a gutter or something, except it doesn't look like it was. Look at that. Can you guys see that trunk where it goes down and then back up? That is just crazy. I've never seen that. Look at that. That is insane. Okay, that's really, really, really crazy. I don't know what happened to that palm, but and look at the skinny trunk on that. It looks like a tropical trunk almost, with like how skinny it gets. Just crazy. Wow. Yeah, there are some interesting windmill palms here. I mean, I'm not sure I'd plant one. At least definitely not as my first palm in Southern California. But you know what? If I had a big garden, maybe I'd throw one in there, throw them in the mix. I definitely would be interested in trying some more rare Trachycarpus species, like maybe Martianus or something like that. But yeah. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, people kind of look weirdly at me when I talk about palms, even people. Really? That's really weird. You'd think that people would be more aware. I mean, Dallas, you got huge, like, ancient Washingtonia foliifera. You've got lots of sables. I mean, I think people would be more aware about them there. That's weird. That's unfortunate to hear. I'm sorry about that. Palms deserve more respect. That's really, yeah, sorry about to hear about that, palms. That's not good. It's very niche, I think. Yeah, I guess you're right. It is very niche. Not a lot of people are into, I guess, just palms, maybe even gardeners. Hey, Camel likes Coke. Thanks for joining in. Be right back. Awesome. I'll see you. Great to have you in here. What's the obvious difference between the Queen, Royal, and Christmas palm? Well, Queen palm. If I can find one, there's one right there. Queen palm has, you know, these, first of all, the leaflets on it, I mean, look at them, they're very droopy, unlike that of Royal palm or Christmas palm. And I mean, if you see like a mature version of each of them, you can tell because a Queen palm, Queen palm and Royal palm are much bigger than a mature, this big. And it also grows multiple trunks. The trunks go out curving side to the side. Queen palm trunks will never curve unless they're planted like on an angle, in which case they'll curve up towards the sun because they always grow up straight. You can see that's perfectly straight. Yeah, I mean, the Christmas palm has very, small, I don't know how to describe it, like tropical looking fronds. These Queen palms are very drooping fronds. And Royal palms do look a little bit like, they can look sort of like Queen palms, but they have the big distinguisher is the crown shaft. You know, they have the like grayish trunk, and then they have this huge bright green bulbous crown shaft, which Queen palms do not have. So that's, I guess, the big differentiator between the two, and between those. And then Royal palms have that huge big green crown shaft. Queen palms just have a gray trunk without really a crown shaft. And then Christmas palms stay really small. They have curving trunks, which are like green, they curve out and they have really small leaves, so they're just they stay small. Yes, more fluffy leaves. That's a great description. Joseph. Yeah, I saw some huge Royal palms yesterday on the Palisades Park in Santa Monica. Huge ones. It was at night. I didn't get any pictures of them, unfortunately, but huge Royal palms. You can look it up. There's some huge ones that right next to Santa Monica Pier at Palisades Park. Huge, beautiful Royal palms. I love Royal palms. That'd be one of the first palms I'd try here in Southern California. One of my favorite palms, Roystonea regia. Just a beautiful species. You gotta love them. Here's back at the Venice canals, folks. Beautiful view down there. Great description, Joseph. Yeah, I think a really fat foliifera look better also. Exactly. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Because Brahea armata, just generally have very Washingtonia-like characteristics. I mean, obviously they're very close. Same area, and they're close relatives. Speaking of which, by the way, Brahea armata right there. Again, very distinguishable from Brahea edulis. I mean, just look at that Washingtonia, for example. You can just see how bluish, almost silver that is, and just how deep green that is. And that's what a Brahea edulis fronds look like in color. And then the armata just, have that blue. So that's a very easy way to distinguish them. Yeah. And I'm back. Awesome, Camel. Great to have you here. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for joining in. And it's great to have you all here. And just a beautiful day. It's really nice. I wonder how it's going to be out in Joshua Tree near Palm Springs. I bet it's going to be a lot hotter than the windy Channel Islands. The Channel Islands, by the way, that is probably the windiest place I've ever been. Not only on the boat, but once you get up onto those exposed, insanely rocky cliff faces. Oh my God, it is so windy. I mean, it's so windy that, the wind's pushing against you. And thankfully it's all coming out from the water. But if it were pushing, if it were coming, from like the island, it would be strong enough to push you into the water. But thankfully it's all coming off the ocean, so it's pushing you inland. But the island is huge. We went to Santa Cruz Island in the Channel Islands. There's 7 other islands. one of which is Catalina, which is the most inhabited and most visited one, which is not part of the national park. And then the other 4 are part of the national park, as well as the one we went to. We went to the biggest island. It's the biggest island in California. It's over 20 miles long. Yeah, I agree, palms. Speaking of, there is Washington Flifer in town. Before the freeze, the palm was green, lush, nice skirt. Now it's dead looking. All the fronds have been trimmed off. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, I've seen people post like lots of pictures of huge Washingtonia growing in Dallas. I mean, I had no idea just how common they were. They're everywhere there. And I mean, if you think about it, Dallas is really not that far from Oklahoma. It's just like a stone's throw. So I bet you try sable and stuff in Oklahoma, at least without a bad freeze, they can make it there. I've seen pictures of sable and pindo growing at like a casino, one of those Native American casinos in Oklahoma. And they looked good. And I think they were killed by the freeze, unfortunately. It's just, oh, it's terrible. It really makes me sad. All right, guys, sorry to cut it off like this, but I think we probably have to go now. We're going to be heading out, driving out to Joshua Tree, and yeah, just super excited. So stay tuned for more videos. I'll be obviously posting some, and if we hike to some wild Washingtonia Flifer oases, which I think we most certainly will, I will absolutely show you guys, and I'm just so excited to see that. All right, take care. Kevin Gaber, thank you so much. That really means a lot, and yeah, you should definitely come to LA if you're, you know, it's definitely, I think, you know, it's obviously a huge tourist spot because it's so warm, so beautiful, and just such a great place. So definitely come out to LA, come out to anywhere in California, but specifically LA is just an incredibly global city, an incredibly beautiful city. And yeah, definitely come out here if you have time. I should camel. I really should make Instagram. I use Facebook, but yeah, I should. I mean, I already have so much time that, you know, I have so little time that, you know, I spend so much of it on on work and stuff that I have so little time for social media, unfortunately, but I really should. I should do that. But yeah, thank you. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Sandor. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Joseph. Thanks to all you guys for joining in. It means a lot. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Stay tuned for more videos, and have a good one. Take care, folks.